What is up, YouTube? It is me, Topher Crost, here to do my first ever Panzer deck format profile, my first Panzer deck profile for the Panzer format. If you do not know what the Panzer format is, this deck profile might get a little confusing to you, so I would recommend going to watch the video that I will leave a link in the description where we explain the rules of Panzer. It is a fun format. It makes you think outside the box, and it brings back old cards. So if that sounds like something you would like, go check out the format. Now, before I get started, I just wanted to say one thing, and I ask you to please listen for just a few minutes while I talk about something. So, I have a friend whose brother-in-law, who I've met a few times, name's Marcus. Really good guy, hard-working guy, works for his family. You know, he's a good guy. He has been diagnosed as of maybe 4 or 5 days ago with stage 4 brain cancer. He has been told that he cannot work or to support his family anymore or anything like that. He is starting treatment soon, or he started treatment. Yeah, he starts treatment tomorrow, I believe. So he has a GoFundMe. If you can, please, if you can, spare even $1 to help this man. He is a good man. He deserves the help. He would never ask for it. His family it made it for him, the GoFundMe. He would never ask for help, but he is the kind of person who definitely deserves help. So I would really appreciate if you would go and donate. And I've already decided that if the Topher Crost community donates more than 300 or more to this GoFundMe, which again I will link in the description, that I will do some big giveaways. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it yet, if it's going to be like 2 weeks of straight giveaways or a month of giveaways or something like that, or how I'm going to do it, or maybe we'll vote for a bunch of giveaways or something like that. I don't know how I'm going to do it yet, but I definitely promise that I will if we can raise that kind of money. And if you're wondering how I'm going to know if we raise that kind of money, of course you can go on there and donate anonymous if you would like. It is not a problem at all. But what I'm going to do is, if you donate, I just ask you to put in the comment TC, so that way I know that it's someone from this community that has donated, from our community that has donated, so that way I can keep tally on how much we donate. Just a little incentive for you guys. If you could even spare $1. The cards I will be giving out depending on how much we make, but I might order some like really more expensive cards to give away if we do more than 300 or something like that. I just really hope you guys will help me out. Also, I want to say I'm sorry I'm getting this video out so late. I actually had it recorded, and then the entire recording got deleted, and it put me back so much. I haven't really had a chance to get into the video, but enough talk about not Yu-Gi-Oh! Again, I really would appreciate it, and thank you so much for those of you who donate that I'm probably not going to be able to thank personally because I can't tell the future. Alright, so without further ado, let us begin on the deck profile. Now, if you don't know Panzer format, it is a 50 to 60 card format, so that's something you might want to know ahead of time. Also, it's a little bit different. Like I said, definitely go watch the video. It's a very short video. You only have to watch about 6 minutes of it, because the other 10 minutes or the other 4 minutes is me and Lou talking about something else that I put after the video. Alright, so first up we have 2 Dark Magicians, and if you've already seen the video and you're wondering why I can play 2 Dark Magicians, then I just slammed the camera. If you're wondering why I can play 2 Dark Magicians, it's actually because I have a card later in the deck that allows me to play it, Illusion Magic, so I can play 2. Alright, next up we have all 5 pieces of Exodia. Of course you want to play all 5 pieces of Exodia if you play Exodia, because there's no other reason of playing him. I have a combo in this deck that lets me get Exodia once I have all the cards to do the combo. It's actually a combo that got a certain equipped card, Butterfly Dagger Elma, I believe. I can never remember the name behind it. But yeah, it got it banned, so you might know what combo you're talking about, but I would definitely explain the combo if you want to be a cheating bastard. It's not really cheating, because it's illegal in this format, but you still are a bastard, like me. Next up we have Dark Magician of Chaos, basically just to get some spell cards back. And of course, we're going to play Magician of Dark Illusion. It's a 3rd Dark Magician, and if you don't feel like playing Illusion Magic, it is a 2nd Dark Magician. Next up we have Apprentice Illusion Magician. To get Dark Magician into your hand, of course you want Dark Magician in your hand to play. Also, it boosts all your Dark Spellcaster types. Dark Magician Girl, easy to pull out of the deck with cards like Event Horizon. I think it's, I'll bring it up later, I forget the name of the card. But easy to pull out of the deck with cards like that, and Berry Magician Girl. Also is good with Eye of Tamias to get out Dark Magician Girl the Dragon Knight. Chocolate Magician Girl for draw power and reviving or getting some cards back from the grave. Magician's Valkyria, it's a great card for, basically what its effect is that opponents cannot target another face-up spellcaster type monster for an attack as long as she is on the field, and I have ways to make her invincible in this deck, so it makes it a lot better. Breaker the Magical Warrior, he is a 1900, which is a really strong for a 4-star, and he has the ability to destroy one of your opponent's spell or traps. Summoner Monk for level 4 XYZ plays, and he also lets me pull level 4 spellcaster from my deck. Alright, here's the card that lets me do Exodia, and it's the only non-spellcaster card or monster I have in this deck. Gaia the Fierce Knight, that is not right. Guilford the Iron Knight, so his effect, and I have to read it, I'm going to be specific on the effect, so when a equipped card is equipped to this card, destroy that equipped card, or cards. So with Butterfly, Dagger, Elma, I can, which every time it gets into the graveyard, it comes back to your hand. I can infinitely play trap or magic cards, so I have an infinite number of plays of spell cards in a turn. So I keep playing it and playing it, and it allows me to use one discard, Magical Exemplar, to get infinite spell counters. What she does is every time you play a spell card, you get 2 spell counters, and you can special summon a spellcaster type monster from your graveyard or your hand that equals the level of the spell counters. So what that means is I can keep playing Butterfly Dagger Elma and Guilford the Iron Knight, and I can get a bunch of spell counters, and I am then able to play pretty much any spellcaster monster I want. Next up is Royal Magic Library. This one should be pretty obvious with I want to say Gaia the Fierce Knight. Guilfried the Iron Knight and Butterfly Dagger, I can infinitely draw cards to get Exodia. Next up is Magician's Rod. This allows me to search for Dark Magician spell or traps, which is very, very useful in this deck. Magician's Robe, which is basically a Dark Magic Curtain that works better than Dark Magic Curtain, as long as you can discard a spell card on your opponent's turn, and it comes back from the grave. Magician's Rod is also recyclable, I almost forgot to mention. Magician of Faith, I'm going to put that one right here, I'm running out of little room, but Magician of Faith down here, she is another way to get spells and traps from my deck, from my graveyard, spells from my graveyard specifically, and that's what makes her important. And last but not least, Berry Magician Girl. Berry Magician Girl is, people don't want to attack her because you can pull a Dark Magician Girl or Chocolate Magician Girl, in my case, out of the deck, and also she allows you to put either Chocolate Magician Girl or Dark Magician Girl into your hand, or any other Magician Girl you decide to play, but those are the ones I have. So that's it for the monsters, and like I said, you can't just put, stack the deck with draw cards in this format, so you have to kind of think outside the box. It'd be nice, but that's unfortunately not how it works. Let's see. Next up, I'm going to do the spell cards. And I kind of have them organized in a weird way, the type of spell cards they are, like continuous and stuff, because I couldn't think of a better way to organize them, because this format kind of doesn't allow you to play a lot more than usually one of a card. Dark Magical Circle, to excavate 3 in your deck and pick out a Dark Magician card, very important. Also, if you play Dark Magician, you get to banish. Next up, Pot of Duality, not technically a draw card, so you can play it in your deck along with 5 other draw cards, and allows you to excavate 3 once again and pull 1, and then you shuffle your deck. Monster Reborn, for very obvious reasons I play Monster Reborn. It's just a good card, it's better than Call of the Haunted, and you can bring back one of your opponent's monsters as well. I'm trying to straighten these out just a little bit. Straighten them out just a little bit. There we go. Alright, next up we have Change of Heart. Take control of your opponent's monster until the end of turn. Very, very good card. Swords of Revealing Light, stall for 3 turns. Dark Magic Veil, pay 1,000 life points, special summon a Dark Spellcaster type monster from your hand or graveyard. Basically a better Ancient Rules for this deck. The Eye of Tamias, polymerization for my deck. Can use on Dark Magician and get good cards out. Dark Magician Girl as well. Graceful Charity, draw 3, discard 2. There is no reason not to play this card in this format. Graceful Charity is probably the best draw card for this format, because not only do you get to draw 3 cards, you get to put 2 in the graveyard, and a lot of cards work off grave effects. Next up, Pot of Greed, draw 2 cards. Why would you not play it? Dark Hole, destroy your opponent's field. If you get it in your first hand, you go second. It's just perfect. They work really hard to get their fields up, and you just time it right, and it is a very destructive play. Dark Magic Attack, destroy your opponent's back row, if you have Dark Magician. Dark Magic Curtain, sacrifice half your life points and get Dark Magician. Very, very good early game, or if you're in a bind. Dark Magic Inheritance, banish 2 spell cards, get a Dark Magician card. It can be any card that lists Dark Magician. So again, it's like another Magician's Rod. It's very, very good. Of course, you'd want to play it. Illusion Magic lets you search your deck for up to 2 Dark Magicians, which is why I'm allowed to play 2 in this deck for the small cost of sacrificing a spellcaster. Alright, and now we get into Magical Dimension. So what this card does is, if you have a spellcaster monster on your field, it's an old card. It used to be one of the best cards ever for spellcasters, and people don't really use it anymore. But in this format, it's definitely great. Magical Dimension allows you to sacrifice, as long as you have a spellcaster on the field, sacrifice a monster to special summon a spellcaster type monster out of your hand, and then you get to destroy one of your opponent's monsters. It's a just great card to play in a spellcaster deck. Twin Twisters, basically better Mystical Space Typhoon, kill some back row. I only think I need 2, because this is a very monster-heavy format for all the games I've played so far. I only need 2 back row killers, and I have Breaker, the Magical Warrior as well, so that's 3 back row killers. That's plenty for the format. Butterfly Dagger Elma, for obvious reasons. I'm going to go ahead and read it off just so you know how it works with I swear to God, I want to say guy. Gilfried the Iron Knight. The equipped monster gains 300 attack when this card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard. While equipped, you can return it to the hand. So basically an infinite combo with Gilfried. And last but not least, Mage Power. Just a very, very powerful attack and defense boost, especially if you're playing with lots of back row. So that's it for my spell cards. I have quite a few spell cards in this deck, but they all work great, and some of them are just to thin the deck, some of them are just because they're awesome. Alright, next up we have, for my trap cards, Mirror Force. I went with OG Mirror Force because devastating your opponent's field seems to be the best way to do it. Quaking Mirror Force is also probably the best Mirror Force, I'd have to say, for this format, but I just don't like having to go through all those monsters. Jar of Avarice, pick 5 cards from my graveyard and draw a card, so just a little bit more draw power. Gaga Shield, put it on a spellcaster type monster, and it cannot be destroyed twice a turn. Dark Horizon, I said Event Horizon, it's Dark Horizon. It allows you to, if your opponent gets a direct attack on you, you can activate it, and you can summon a spellcaster type monster with the amount of life point damage they did to you for attack points or less. Magic Cylinder. I can only use 1 Mirror Force in this game type, so Magic Cylinder makes your opponent deal damage to himself. Also has won me some games. God dang it. Magician Navigation. I swear my other recording was better than this, but of course it got deleted. Lets you special summon Dark Magician out of your hand and special summon a level 7 or lower Dark Spellcaster type monster from your deck to the field. Also is a negate if you have Dark Magician on the field once it's in your graveyard, so it's very, very good. Dark Renewal. If your opponent special summons a monster or normal summons or whatever, you can sacrifice a card on your side of the field, a card on their side of the field, and then you get to pull a monster from your deck or graveyard, as long as it is a Dark Spellcaster. Solemn Judgment, that's my Solemn card. I don't know why you really play any of the other Solemn. Solemn Warning, maybe. But Solemn Judgment is by far the best Solemn trap card, so definitely always want to play it in the deck. That is my Solemn card that I picked. Eternal Soul, to bring back Dark Magicians over and over and over, and also lets me search Dark Magic Attack, and is amazing with Dark Magician the Dragon Knight. And last but not least, Dimension Guardian. Have a monster in attack mode, make invincible to battle damage. Well, not battle damage, I'm sorry. Make it, not being able to destroy by battle. So, that is it for my traps. Next up, we have the extra deck, and like I said, I am going a bit faster, so that way we can, there's a lot of cards to go through. Dark Magician, the Dragon Knight, perfect if you have a good back row you want to protect. Also revivable by Eternal Soul, as long as it's summoned the right way. Dark Paladin, good against dragon decks, and if you want to negate some spell cards, gets plus 500 for dragons on the field in the graveyard. Amulet Dragon, if you want to get rid of some of your opponent's spell cards in their graveyard, good if they have like a Galaxy Cyclone or something like that, and also gets an attack boost, and is actually very useful in this format. Dark Magician Girl, the Dragon Knight, if you need to boost up your Dark Magician Girl and destroy some some cards on the field. That's it for fusions. Next up we got XYZs. Ebon Illusion Magician it's basically helps you get Dark Magician out of your deck onto the field, lets you summon one straight from your deck. Also, if a normal spellcaster type monster declares an attack, you can banish a card. So it's banish, and it's a good card to summon, and you can also get it out by pulling out Naruto, the Moral Leader, which I'm going to show you later, because so if you get 2 level 6 spellcasters, you can also do that. Ebon High Magician allows you to play quick play, spells, and traps directly from your hand and on your opponent's turn. Number 11, Big Eye. Basically another change of heart for me. If I really need it and he's got that monster I just need to take, I will pull out number 11. Red Eye's Flare Metal Dragon. I don't use him as much as I do in meta because opponents don't play cards that fast in this format, but he is a solid card if your opponent likes to do combo decks that take forever. Basically gets rid of 500 life points per your opponent doing anything. Alright, so now we're getting out of the level 7s. Those are my 4 level 7 XYZs. Naruto, the Moral Leader, negates spell cards on your opponent's turn and can be put into Ebon Illusion. Alchemaic Magician, if the game's going on a little too long, it lets me search a specific spell card that I want. Downward Magician, it's basically Dark Rebellion XYZ Dragon. When I don't have it, it's another just powerful card to summon. Of course, Dark Rebellion XYZ Dragon, the level 4 you will be going out into most of the time because it takes half of your opponent's attack, half of one of your opponent's monsters' attack, and then puts it onto him, and then once it does that, he attacks for a lot of life points. Castel, the Sky Blaster Musketeer, just to get some monsters back into the deck, and then a 50-card deck takes you forever to get those back out. And I have one Link monster I'm just going to kind of throw on top of here. Decode Talker, if the game is going on a little too long, I will put Decode Talker on the field and kind of so I can get some extra deck monsters and kind of use his effect on my opponent's monsters. So, you know, it just works out really good if I ever need him. I don't think I've used him but once so far in all the testing, but when I needed him, he was there, so it was pretty good. But what did you guys think of this what did you think of the Panzer format, and what do you think of this deck? And can you think of a better deck for the Panzer format? Also, once again, do not forget the GoFundMe in the description, and thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to try and upload a lot more in the coming weeks. My work schedule has been insane because I've been helping my boss close one store and open another store, and I've taken on more hours. But I'm still going to try to upload as much as I can. Thank you guys so much for sticking around with me, and you guys all have a wonderful night. Topher, Crost out.